Good morning, here's Kramer's Corner with the daily technical updates on a day where US market really sold off. S&P 500 closed below 41.95 support, and we are now in this consolidation range back from last year and earlier this year, so that's something to watch out for. 4,050, we have just around 4,100 here and 40,050, but there is downside potential even lower to 4,000. It looks quite heavy at the moment. Also looking at the weekly chart, we can see here we are in a downtrend on short term and medium term. The only thing that is holding up a little bit is still that the RSI is above 40 sentiment. But that is not unlikely to be taken out. Also, we have here this is the future. We can see it's trading lower. It's dropping fast this morning, and we are about to have maybe a bit of a lower opening this afternoon on the US markets. Meta was out in the aftermarket with earnings that sent it down 3-4% in the after hours trading, so quite heavy there too. We have the Nasdaq 100 that closed below 14,500. Next support here at 14,250. But the future is actually trading around or below that level here. We have the Nasdaq Mini. You can see how much it dropped already, so quite heavy there too. Just going back to Nasdaq 100, yeah, we have some support. I think it will be opening around that level today, and that's going to be interesting. Will we actually hold on to it or not? I actually think that the next the rest of the week and going to next week, we will see a Nasdaq below 14,000. Just very quickly on the Dow Jones, still holding on above the 32,750, but it's also trading a little bit lower here pre-market, but still not below. What is interesting is also that it was the SOX index or the semiconductor ETF that really got hit last night with 4% lower levels. We have the Russell 2000. Here's the Russell 2000. That's the 2,000 smallest US companies that also got hit last night, were almost 1.7% lower. You can see it already had a rough few months here, and very close to testing support at 162.70. But it seems quite heavy also with the bearish sentiment on the RSI. Looking at the European market, EuroStoxx lower this morning also. About 1% back below 4,034. I think we'll see a retest of the 39.86. Whether it will hold or not is a little bit up in the air, but there is room down to around 3,800 if it's taken out. Bouncing a little bit here the past few minutes. DAX just above 14,675, key support there, but there's room down to around 14,500, and we can see here on the weekly why it's so important. It could actually break lower right there. Amsterdam index hovering just around the 715. And there's a little bit of divergence here, but the sentiment is negative, and we are in a downtrend all on fronts. If it takes out 710, which is the next key, that's the key support, then we are seeing AEX below 700. Belgium market, very close to what we talked about some time ago, very close to within a few cents from the October 2022 lows here. Massive sell-off we are seeing. Maybe it can bounce a little bit from these lows there, but that remains to be seen. It's not the strongest support. CAC 40 holding on a little bit above the 61,800, and I think we could see a bit range bound between 6,800 and 6,900 around these levels here. But looking at the medium term, it looks quite heavy, and it can also be in for a rough last quarter. Euro dollar has broken below this very short term rising trend line here, so let's delete it. It's not really of any use. After it got rejected at 107, it seems to be resuming downtrend. It's holding on a little bit above this falling trend line. If it does break below this one, and we have RSI back below its rising trend line, and especially if it moves back below 40, well, then we will see an attempt to take out previous lows here at 104.48, and I think that will happen, and we will see Euro dollar lower. That was a bit of a rejection there, I would say, that really must have hurt on Euro dollar bulls. Cable. Couldn't really get up to the 123 this time, very close to before setting off, and I think we'll see now a push to take out 120 here in the next couple of days. We can see the RSI currently below the rising trend line and also below 40, so that's really something to look out for. That I think we'll see 120 being tested and possibly taken out. If it's taken out, well, then we're looking at 118.40 support level. Quite a bit of volatility in dollar yen this morning. If we just very quickly look at the 5-minute chart, we can see what there was some intervention from the Japanese central bank this morning, but buyers are still there. Currently we are above 150.15, resistance level, but we are in an uptrend, so we are in a bullish sentiment, but there is divergence. It's a little bit stressed, but if dollar yen is closing above its resistance level here, well, then there's room up to 152. I actually think it can move above that in coming weeks, but we should see a correction, but again, it currently seems like a one-way street. Euro yen still range bound here, and let's remove that one so we can actually, after being rejected 159.76, and we need a breakout from these levels. Same again here with the 95.85 still on the Aussie yen and sterling yen. Not really much to talk about. Aussie dollar slowly ticking a little bit lower, still room down to 61.85. Rounding off the FX market with the dollar index that is currently testing the minor resistance here at 106.57. If it does close above, we are currently above, then it's paving the way to 107.19 resistance. We can also here see on the weekly where that resistance lies and what is it all about. There will be some strong resistance where we could see a correction. Gold is currently above key resistance at 1985. If it does close above, well, and I think it looks like it at the moment. I actually did expect a little bit of a larger correction down to 1945, 25 possibly, but buyers are really picking up here the strength, and if we can get it back above 2,000, that's going to be interesting. Then there's a room for much higher levels in coming weeks and months on gold. We are in a bullish trend. We just needed to be confirmed also on the weekly RSI. So let's see, but very strong move indeed. Silver also picking up after it did perform a 38.2 retracement or correction down to 22 and a half. Slowly picking up pace here again. If it does take out 23.78, this resistance up here, well, then we are in a bullish trend also on silver. Copper still struggling. It did bounce off the 354.50 support, but it can't really gain any upside traction, and I think it will take some time. Maybe we'll have another go at the support there. On the energy side, the WTI crude oil very close to test the 81.50 support. That is a key support. If it does close below, well, then we can see a sell-off down to 77.60, possibly lower below these 100 and 200 moving average. That actually coming up here, and we are still in the cloud. So we are still slightly bullish on crude oil, but it seems a bit depressed at the moment. So a bit in a limbo, to be honest. Same with Brent oil, still holding on a little bit better, correcting at 61.8. But the interesting thing is, it has actually negative sentiment. So we see according to the RSI, we should see a move lower, but we are in a bit of a limbo, to be honest, on the crude oil. So really hard to predict the current direction. All right, finally on yields. We have, and let's zoom in a little bit. I know there's a lot of Fibonacci going on here. So first of all, I did expect us to see the US 10-year down to around 470, but it did only take out the 38.2 retracement. So what I would do is I would remove that one and see if that was possibly the correction. If it does take out previous peak here at 501, well, then it has paved the road for higher levels towards 515, possibly 520.22, around that level. All right, that's all for today, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow, where there's possibly a lot of new stuff that has happened in the financial markets. Happy trading and have a nice day.